Hey everyone, Gene with Skier Systems. Today I'll be happy to walk you through on some of our grading attachments that we have in our product lineup. So for starters, what we're going to be discussing first off are our base models. So what we have as a base model is our Pro units, our Pro Pluses, and Pro Plus Oversize. For starters, we're going to have the Pro over here. So the Pro initially, well basically it doesn't have any sort of extensions to them. You can either have them as an 8.4 foot wide unit as shown today, or you can also choose into having it as a 7 foot wide unit. That's where it pretty much ends for the Pro. Next stop over here, we're going to have the Pro Plus. The Pro Plus unit is initially 7 feet wide in initial width once the wings are fully retracted on top. Once you have those wings fully deployed on both sides, since both wings are independent of one another as well, so you can have them in any configuration that you want until that they are completely flat on the ground. Once they are completely flat on the ground, you have a total width of 12 feet wide to grade at a time. And so next stop over here, we're going to be looking at the Pro Plus Oversized, or also known as OS. The oversized unit is exactly pretty much the same as a Pro Plus, as you can see. Main difference here, we have an extra foot and 1.4 feet of width initially on the centerpiece there. So giving you a total potential width to have of 13.4 feet wide. So now what we're going to be discussing is the differences in the variants of our grading attachments we have here. So for starters, we're going to be looking at the beam unit. The beam unit can be considered as the same thing as a Pro, just like we saw earlier, with the width being the same, but out in the back, what we have is a lack of hydraulics. So if you don't need any sort of hydraulic movements on an attachment, just the flat double-edged cutting blade along with that adjustment working for you, this is what you're going to be looking at. If we're looking at the Pro, notice how we have a 4-way Pro over here. So all of our units can be had as either 4-way, 6-way, or fully automatic. We'll get into that. So for now, what we have here is a 4-way unit. So meaning you can get the movement of a steer from side to side, and you can actually pivot front and back using the curl motion of your bucket. So that's what a 4-way will allow you to do. If we move up over here to the Pro Plus, we have it as the 6-way variant of our units. So 6-way, what you're going to be getting done with that is the same movements for the 4-way. So steer left and right, and the curl back and forth. Additionally, 6-way will allow you to have the integrated tilt mechanism up in the back. We have it up in the back like this, so we have the best weight distribution on the attachments. So having it here, we have your plates actually tilting the whole front end of the attachment from side to side, getting your slope movements done. And if we move over here, we have the fully automatic oversized Pro Plus. So the fully automatic units, what distinguishes them? Well, they are by default 6-way. So you get all of the 6-way maneuverability, just like a 6-way attachment. On top of that, if you notice here on the side, we will have the up and down movements activated by this center cylinder over here. And you have these massive guide cylinders to keep everything linear for once you want to get your up and down automatically controlled, or even manually, so that can be toggled on and off to your will. And naturally, you're going to have these all rigged out with all of the components as well. So in this segment, we're going to be going over the accessories that we have available for our attachments, whether it be a Pro, Pro Plus, even the beams, and even the oversized Pro Plus. So for starters, let's take a look at these side plates that I have over here hooked up to our Pro unit. So these side plates are going to give you the box blade effect that you're looking for to contain more material in front of the blade instead of having the material windrow immediately from side to side. Now, I have lots of my clients that will like these side plates, especially because they are removable. You have 2 screws on each side that help you take them on or take them off. And you can have either one side exclusively holding in material and having the material go straight to the other side, or vice versa. So these side plates are always available for Pro Pluses, beams, and all of our attachments. So next off, let's walk on over to our Pro Plus over here, hooked up with our laser assisted package. So what this package consists of, let's start with the pole over here. So this is a shallow mount pole, so that allows you to have your receiver mounted at a shallow position so that your operator has a peripheral view, including the receiver, so that he can see this without any sort of trouble at all. So this pole over here is easily, you can easily mount it or dismantle it, no problem. 4 screws hold it in place, mounted at the base. So it makes it very simple to dismantle and to set it up again. Next, what's included in our package will be the receiver over here. So what we include specifically in our package will be the LS series from Topcon. Specifically these receivers, because we like to have naturally your up and down elevation gauge over here, and you're also going to have a gauge up over here letting you know giving you a visual on your grade for your sloping and for your pitch front to back as well. So all of that into one receiver. You don't need to run a dual setup as well. So very simple and nifty, and that makes it very useful for that. What's also included optionally in our package, so these can all be individually selected as well on your purchase. So depending if you want a whole setup, we have the whole setup. So what's also included in the whole setup for a laser assisted package will be the tripod. So the tripod over here is also an option we have, and it's also something that includes the grade rod that we have over here in the back. And mounted onto that tripod we have over here is the transmitter that we have optional as well. And this transmitter from Topcon is a dual slope transmitter. So you're going to be able to project your elevation and your slope if desired as well with the same unit. And included with that transmitter there, you're going to have this indicator that you can mount onto your grade rod as well. That's also included with the transmitter. So we just went over the laser assisted package. Now to go over our fully automatic MCR machine control ready variant and its components, aka the most versatile package you can ever get your hands on these days regarding grading attachments. So for starters, I mentioned earlier we have the additional up and down cylinder. So you have this motion being controlled automatically along with your sloping as well, all guided by the already included Leica system, the IGD2 setup. So this setup will include everything pre-hooked up, pre-installed, pre-tested from the factory itself. And you have by default the control box over here mounted on the chassis of the attachment over here. And along with the receivers, the MLS 820s, they will allow you to have your offset are all configurable from the control box right here. Side note as well, the control box can also be mounted inside the cab if that's desired as well. And with all of these components, well, you're going to be able to get your laser precision all automatically graded throughout your job site. And not only that, you're also going to have the ability to get your rough grade done on top of that. So with the same attachment, this is the whole concept of the automatic blade, where you want something you can actually take off the truck, the trailer basically, and get there and take apart your piles of material you can just spread around, or dig, or get whatever kind of rough work you need to get done with the same attachment, same stability. Reach out into corners, obstacles, go around them and all that. And once you're ready for the final grade, you just need to toggle it into automatic, have all of these components work for you, and to get it done in a matter of time, that's very much less than the usual setup that you might see nowadays on job sites. The key features that distinguish our attachments from the rest of the grading attachments we have on the market today, well, for starters, we're going to have the flat double-edged cutting edges that we have on here. So let's take a look at this Pro Plus, for instance. On this Pro Plus, the cutting edges reach out in the front as well as in the back as well, so giving you that same ability to grade going frontwards and backwards on top of that. Working alongside with the cutting edges, we have our patented tech over here. So what we refer to over here at Skier System, the 0.0 adjustment. So having this sitting at 0.0 means you have your arms bottomed out on your skid steer, and you have the attachment resting against the chassis of the skid steer. So all of the energy that pushes up onto the attachment won't be looking to have the attachment dig down any further. You're going to have something that holds grade as true as possible, and you're going to be working 12 feet wide on top of that. This is what gives you the efficiency on our attachments there. And just to give you a little insight on how that attachment, the adjustment is actually made on our attachments. So you're going to have your skid steer hooked up to the quick attach over here, and bottom out, get yourself on a flat leveled surface, and you have these locking screws over here that are mounted on slider plates. So these are going to be slacked off, and you're going to be adjusting the screw leg we have underneath over here. So this actually pivots the rear of the attachment up and down, so ultimately getting playing on the cutting edge's aggressive stance. And the point here is to get all of that aggressivity of the stance eliminated, have the cutting edge sit flat against the ground. So once that's flat against the ground, you have this cutting edge sitting straight at the same level as the bottom of your tracks, same pitch as well. So you can go ahead and lock those nuts there on the slider plates, and you're locked and loaded. You're golden. You can retract the screw leg completely from there. So meaning once you want to a final grade, you only have to bottom out, and that's where your absolute stability comes from. That's how we at Skier System have eliminated the need for wheels or any sort of bulky support needed for absolute stability. So as a consumer of Skier System's grading attachments, what you can expect in terms of build quality on our attachments, for starters, we're going to have our whole product lineup. All of the attachments we manufacture are coated with powder coat paint. That is an absolute standard when it comes to our quality. And to follow up with that, well, we have some of our components on the attachments will be manufactured out of 450 grade Hardock steel. So the point here giving you absolute reliability and durability out of the components you have. And all of this is determined what kind of components have to deal with what kind of tensile strength essentially. And so that will determine what kind of material you're having your components made out of. To follow up, we have most of the, every single point of friction on our attachments will be friction that will be made on polymer parts over here, as you can see on this tilt plate. And we have the same concept going on as well, for example, in the core of the pivot points on the wings. So we are going to have a sleeve of polymer plastic all around the full metal center core in that pivot point, and no metal to metal friction all day long. So you can absolutely expect to have something that will last an absolute long time right there as it stands. So on our attachments as well, we don't have any attachments that run off of high flow hydraulics. Everything runs off of standard flow. So you're going to have your basic hoses. So your two hoses as so over here that hook up to your standard skid steer hookups. And as well, we have the electrical connectors that hook up into the 14-pin Deutsch connectors. So all of these are pretty much specific to brands. We have a harness for every single brand out there, and for Bobcat owners, Don't worry, we have the 14 to 7 pin Bobcat adapter. So it won't be a harness that adapts your 7 pin Bobcat to a traditional 14 pin Deutsch connector. That will give you the ability to use your Skier Pro Plus oversized, or 6-way Pro unit off of your OEM functions on your skid steer at all times. Everything plug and play. So to recap on everything we've discussed today, I hope I've given you enough information to help you with your search of your next grading attachment. If everything seems right, well, we have the attachment here, right here for you.